Lion face?
Hey.
Lemon face? Did you fucking fuck that up?
I did it backwards. And welcome, everyone, to Return of the Living Podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Jared Howe.
I'm Kirk Kirkpatrick.
Brad Bamforth.
I'm Larry.
The Larry. God damn it, Larry.
Oh, the Larry.
Yeah. And yes, this week we're wearing the same outfits we wore last week with the same press on our... Oh, sorry. Breaking the fourth...
Theater of the mind, sir. Well, I guess now it doesn't really matter because they can see
suspension
us.
of disbelief.
Should we start doing costume changes?
We should.
Just, all right, everybody change your shirt to the right.
Okay, so we were recording this one the same time we did the last week, but that's who cares?
So sue us.
Who cares?
No, don't do
yeah,
that.
we don't have
do
money.
that. We don't have funding for that. Brett.
Which is why you should go to
Patreon.
Patreon and donate $1.
So we can
.com.
support ourselves if we do get sued. We did rag on Nolan quite hard last show, so...
Nolan, if you don't want to donate, that's fine. We understand. But I'm
Hey,
sure you've got some buddies.
Real quick, I was going to bring it up, but I didn't because it wasn't sci-fi. But has anybody ever seen his film, Following? It's on Netflix. Amazing.
Nolan?
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
it's a black and white film. It's just about a guy who follows people around and kind of lives vicariously through them. But then a thief realizes he's being followed, so he makes him his partner in order to. It's just you should watch it. It's really good.
I have to check that out.
Black and white.
Oh, God. I figured that would get your
Oh,
little
my
hipster.
God.
Times black and white.
I figured that'd get your little hipster weenie bouncing.
No, I just don't like black,
Black and
white.
white.
Clerks.
Clerks I like.
You didn't like Young Frankenstein?
No.
I do like the end of,
I mean,
or the beginning of Clerks
I
2 when it
appreciate Young
jumps to color.
Frankenstein, but like, black and white films are harder for me to sit through.
Wolfman?
Yeah, I like old Universal.
I like
films,
Frankenstein versus Wolfman.
I have to be.
That one's pretty
I have to be
good.
in a really specific mood to watch a black and white film, and it's just hard for me.
Like a dark mood
I don't know.
with a little bit of light
like
mood.
really, I've just got ADD. Like Crank was the perfect film for me. I mentioned that in the last episode. I mentioned it again, but it was just like no stop, and
Jared could probably recite like every scene in Crank just because he followed it.
no.
Did you
not-
see
not
High
that bad.
Voltage?
No, fuck that.
I
That's
did,
too
and it
much.
has the best kill I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Ever.
Apparently
when the
it's-
stripper gets shot through the tit and
Yeah.
silicone leaks out before the blood, loved it.
It's apparently like based off of like a book or a comic series or
Mm-hmm.
something. That's why it's a trilogy. Did they ever come out with a third one? They're supposed to.
I think they did Expendables and Jason Statham's like stock rose, and then they figured out he actually can't act, so then he did Expendables 2 and 3, and that's where we're at.
I'm gonna
He
go
can't
ahead
act.
and
He's like
he is one of my top 3 favorite actors. No bullshit. Jason Statham is one of my favorite actors.
Snatch is amazing.
Yeah.
yeah,
Snatch
he can
is-
act.
See,
Snatch
and
was
the,
solid.
and the problem is like he's the same character in Snatch. He's the same character in every film he's in. Either way.
Except no, I think
It's
he's
just
a
with
different
accents.
character in Snatch because he couldn't fight for shit in
That
Snatch.
well, yes, that is true, but
So his range of acting is I'm a badass or I'm a pussy.
well, he's just typecast, and I'm okay with it because I love the Transporter series. I bought a fucking Audi because Transporter. You know what I mean? Like I enjoy those films a lot, but
I like that he can change his tire without jacking his car up, without putting a jack
I
underneath
even
his
did.
car.
Wait,
Yeah.
He did a fantasy film called In the Name of the King that was awful, but
I haven't
so
seen that.
fun to watch.
really, I'll
Yeah.
have to look that up because I haven't
He's
seen that.
just like a fucking villager, like farmer,
Yeah.
and like orcs come in and fucking murder his family, and he goes on a war path to like stop the evil king.
Yes.
Like,
Can we
it's
please
insane.
remake Highlander with
And
him
it's
as
just,
Highlander?
Like,
Yeah.
super fast paced, like
Yeah.
medieval times, but with Jason,
Jason
Statham
Statham.
and all his
I am
British special forces.
Gonna have to watch that. That
He's
is
the
badass.
white Jackie Chan.
That's badass.
They made a second one with Dolph Lundgren. Right after the Expendables came out.
God.
I love how you said his name and everybody's head just went a different direction.
It's because he's
Fucking
fucking
Dolph.
Dolph Lundgren. I must break you.
I
That's the
must
only
break
good thing
you.
he's ever done. I tried to go back and watch the 80s Masters of the Universe live action film.
You looked for that for like a good solid 2
I
years.
found
when we
it
were right
finally,
after
and I
high
was
school.
like so stoked. Like revisited my childhood tonight.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome. And it just shit all over the memories
It
of my
just turned out
childhood.
really gay.
Yeah.
You know a movie I like from my childhood that I still find entertaining?
What?
Surf Ninjas.
Surf Ninjas
my
is
God.
awesome.
I hate
Like
that-
Surf Ninjas.
Does that have Rob Schneider in
yeah,
it?
as a
Yes.
ginger.
He played the Game Gear, right?
No, he didn't
No,
play the game.
he was
He
just their friend.
Yeah, he was their friend. He's like, I'm not special. And they're like, you're special in your own way. And it's like, yeah, Rob Schneider is. Like, he freaked out when I built my wall of DVDs. He was like, you have Surf Ninjas? Yeah.
That shit.
That's mine.
That shit in Grown Ups with his daughter that looked just like him.
Oh my god. Was
He's such
was
a good
Rob Schneider
sport.
a kid in Surf Ninjas, or was he still just
I
Rob
think he
Schneider?
was like teenager. Like,
Really? Because I feel like he's just always been Rob Schneider. I feel like he came out Rob Schneider.
I started
can
wearing
do it.
I started wearing boxer shorts because of his character in Surf Ninjas because that's what he wears to school.
Oh my god.
You guys remember Three Ninjas?
Yes.
Kick back, baby.
and then Three Ninjas at High Noon Mountain with Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, so sad. That was Jim Varney's last film. So bummer.
terrible.
I didn't find out Jim Varney was dead until my senior year of high school.
I don't even know who Jim Varney is.
Ernest.
What?
Yeah, I didn't know he's dead until my senior year of high school. I still fucking cried. He died like years before that. I still fucking cried like
I
a
thought he
baby.
was still alive, so
No.
I'm gonna go cry right now.
By the way, Rob Schneider was 30 when Surf Ninjas came out.
No shit.
It came
Rob
out.
Schneider, how old are you?
It came out in '93, and he was born in '63.
Holy shit!
So theoretically, he could have been 29 still.
He's literally always been Rob
It's
Schneider.
always been Rob. I was right. That makes me
How
happy.
old is he now?
Make him 50 now.
Oh my god! And he's still Rob Schneider.
Yeah.
He ages,
that really
ages like
20
an
years
Asian
ago?
woman.
Yeah. Well, actually, it was 22 years ago now.
Yeah.
God, I was 6. How old are you, Brad?
I was 10.
You're old. I don't.
Surf Ninjas was that there used to be a Red Giraffe video in Jeffersonville.
My mom worked at that Red
Really?
Giraffe.
So it was probably your mom that rented me this
world.
movie. But I literally rented Surf Ninjas once a week. I would just take it,
You'll have to
return
go
it,
home and be
and
like,
then
Mom,
read.
do you remember some stupid kid renting Surf Ninjas
My
once a week?
mom worked at every video store in Jeffersonville, Indiana.
Except for
True story.
Yeah, she worked at Blockbuster, didn't she? When it was over
maybe
beside
no.
White Castle?
Yeah, she did.
Yes, she did.
And then,
Not Video Vault.
I
She did
forgot.
not
Yeah.
work at Video Vault.
but she worked at like every video store, which is awesome for me because when VHS kind of went out of style, like they had all these big tent sales and shit, and I got all the wrestling VHSs. Like I got everything I wanted.
Speaking of,
video-wise. It was
I
wonderful.
walked into my buddy's house the other day and he was watching a movie I've never seen before and I cannot believe it. But it was Hulk Hogan and he was wrestling. It wasn't Suburban Commando.
No
which
Holds
is
Barred?
awesome. It was No Holds Barred.
How have you never seen
I've
No
never-
Holds Barred?
I didn't even know it existed.
Oh my
God.
fucking
And
god!
I
I-
joke about that movie all the time.
Oh my
know.
god!
I've never seen it, but
Fucking-
when I walked in, it was the final wrestling scene where Hulk Hogan just loses his shit and power bombs him through the power bombs him like through the glass and like onto the ring, and it collapses on itself, and then he loses his shit and like almost kills the guy, and then he ends up electrocuting himself, and then he snaps out of it, and then there's that awkward 10-minute walk through the crowd and back down.
Did you watch all of it all the way through
Yeah,
after
it
that?
was, you have that way out of order, but I'll forgive you.
Did-
I always
Yeah.
remember that scene because that guy that's a dick in every movie ever
Yeah.
is like, you
Ray Liotta?
jackass.
Yeah.
I don't know, like,
So did you rewatch the movie all the way through?
No, I
You have
haven't
missed
yet.
the best. Explain to him the best scene.
well, first I just want to say he axe handle smashes Debo off of the thing through the ring. But anywho, my
Oh,
favorite
off of
scene
it.
in
I
that
thought it
room,
was through the glass.
he jumps out of the fucking. He beats up all these thugs that are hired to beat him up.
So
and he's
let's
got
set up the scene. The limo
Okay.
drives into the warehouse, and
It's
it's
a
surrounded-
parking garage.
Yeah, excuse me. And then it's surrounded by thugs, right?
with like chains
Yeah,
and like
thugs.
nunchucks.
I know.
And
You
he
said
sh-
thugs,
yeah.
90s, I got it.
He shoots through the
All of
sky
them
roof,
wearing suits.
like just straight up as if something like shot him out, and he lands on. He's just like,
But the best part, he beats the crap out of all these thugs, and at the end, he's like hulking out, and he's got the driver,
Yeah.
and he's just like, "What's that smell?" And the driver's like, "Dookie."
see, you need go
I
back,
need to watch
go
that
to your
whole
buddy's
film.
house, and be like, I need to watch No Holds Barred.
It was just on
now.
TV. I walked in and I was like, what are you watching? And he was like, oh, it's old Hulk movie. No Holds Barred. I'm like, what?
The guy that played Randy, Hulk Hogan's brother, is a dick in everything now. He was the shitty boyfriend from the first season of Dexter. And he was, what's Brad doing?
The shitty,
You'll see on the film.
the shitty
He-
boyfriend.
The The guy that Dexter
truck
like shot
killer?
him up with heroin or something and like left him.
the ex-husband.
That was the kid from No Holds Barred.
no shit.
And
He wrote Nobody Cares.
whatever.
Would you prefer if we were talking about the sports ball?
And
No, never mind.
wrestling is real sports ball. And
There's no balls in. Wait a minute.
but he was the shitty
You're
bad
right.
guy in what is Being Human? It was on Sci-Fi. Yeah, that was a solid show. Did anybody watch that?
I really liked it. I stayed up to about season 4 and then I fell off.
I think I stole the first season from work, but I never watched it.
Well, that was unproductive. So what's next on the gender? Because we've talked about Hulk Hogan for like 20
Way
minutes.
too
right?
fucking long.
Yeah, way too long.
If you
way
haven't
more
seen
than
it,
he deserves.
go go watch No Holds Barred. Period.
We always talk
fucking-
about the shittiest movies and we get so hype about them. And then like an actual legit good movie will come out and we're like, I hated it.
There's
It's like
a,
No Holds Barred. Go fucking watch it. Interstellar. Fuck that shit.
there's
fuck
a
that
40-year-old
shit.
man that just got hyped out there. All right.
Yeah.
you know who we're talking
Yeah.
to.
His
Hulk-
name is Josh Turner.
You need to sponsor
Is he
us.
40?
I don't fucking know. He did just get married though, so hey.
Oh, congrats.
Oh,
So
sorry.
Brad, what do you want to talk about?
I'm just
How
What
about
was-
them Mets?
I'm going with the flow.
You know what we need to talk about?
Ash versus Evil Dead on Stars.
Ghostbusters, like we promised.
Did we? I thought we.
Some
covered
guy's like,
that.
I was promised Ghostbusters.
So Corey,
He's sitting. With
you
his-
brought up the Ghostbusters at
Pop
the end of the last
Funko.
episode. You start Ghostbusters.
I brought up Ghostbusters.
Well, that's
He agreed with
that's
me.
true. So Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters is easily one of the greatest sets of films on the planet. So solid, funny, hilarious.
For a long
We
time,
came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
for the longest time, I thought Ghostbusters 2 was the exact same movie as Ghostbusters 1.
Why?
Um,
Hey, in Ghostbusters 2, they control the fucking Statue of Liberty with an NES advantage, okay?
yeah, that's true. I forgot about that.
Kind of like the
I
kid
had
from
one of
Surf
those.
Ninjas.
So did I. It was a piece of shit.
I rocked it. I used it with Mario Paint. I
Kind of
loved
like the
mine.
kid from Surf Ninjas controlling the fight outcomes with his Game Gear.
That made
Yeah.
sense.
I enjoy Ghostbusters.
That's totally believable. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
But yeah, no, I really like Ghostbusters. Even like the real Ghostbusters television
I'm-
show is probably one of my favorite like
Is it-
cartoons I grew up with.
Perpetuating the myth that I'm a hipster if I say I really love Bill Murray.
No, because Bill Murray's fucking solid.
I really
You
want
can't name a bad Bill Murray film.
that picture of him on a horse, that painting of him on a horse with like the Russian like guard hat or whatever. I really want that tattooed on me somewhere.
Do it. But yeah, no, you know, we for many years everybody's wanted Ghostbusters 3, and apparently after the Sony hack bullshit, it's come out that Bill Murray is the reason that it didn't get made, and they're
Everybody
trying to
already
sue
knew
him now.
that anyway.
Yeah.
And everybody went, yeah,
Is that a BuzzFeed Easter egg too, or
probably.
things you never knew but everybody already knows?
And then like Harold Ramis passed, and that was bullshit.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah,
was,
fuck you for dying, piece of shit.
that was like the day that like my wife's online and she's like, "So Bill or who's Harold Ramis?" I was like, "Oh, he's Egon in Ghostbusters." I'm just not paying attention to her, and she goes, "He's dead." Shut your fucking mouth.
You shut your poor mouth.
I said, "No, the fuck he's not." Go searching at Harold Ramis, like 100 articles passed
Question.
away. What the fuck?
Did she do the dishes?
No.
Did that girl show up at your New Year's party this year?
No, I didn't really have a New Year's party because my piece of shit brother-in-law decided to drop his fucking kids off that day at my house. I was like, "Bye, we're going to get drunk."
That's too deep. So
Anywho,
we couldn't stay on topic.
we forgot a
Ghostbusters.
topic.
I'm talking about
Speaking of-
Ghostbusters.
We don't have a topic for
There
this.
we missed one that I wanted to talk about. Anton Conde, or however you say your name, you posted the best sci-fi movie is Spaceballs and the worst is Jason X. And I have to say that you've got those backwards. I just wanted to make that.
I will say
Special
that Jason X is fucking hilarious. And
I
it is
enjoyed
entertaining.
the shit out
Is
of Jason
everybody
X.
else's favorite scene in Spaceballs the most racist scene in Spaceballs?
Like
The
Home
whole
in the
movie
Desert?
is racist.
The combing the desert.
Yes.
He's like,
yeah.
"Did you find anything? We ain't found shit."
And did anybody else, when they watched the Force Awakens trailer, when he wakes up in the middle of the desert,
Yes.
instantly go to that scene?
Yes, instantly, which is terrible. But we covered pretty much everything else that you guys posted about. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that I really thoroughly enjoyed Jason X. Spaceballs is good, but it's nowhere.
Here's the thing: if you're
on
like,
par for me.
if you're like Jason X is the worst of the Jason franchise, I still call bullshit on you, sir. Jason Goes to Hell is much worse.
Isn't that the one where they
because it
blow
doesn't
him?
have fucking Jason in it.
Yeah. The one. Well, the first Jason, he wasn't in it.
Well, I'm saying,
Well,
but
he was a
like
little boy
when
and it
we're
was
going in
mom.
here and it's like, okay, here's the thing, and it's called Jason Goes to Hell, and
Yeah.
Jason is in it for I think a grand total of like maybe 10 minutes at max.
Meh.
Like they blow him up in the beginning, and then you see him in mirror shots. That's
You
it.
know who
Oh,
they,
yeah.
if they're not going to give you Jason and Jason Goes to Hell, you know who they should have given you? Miguel Nunez.
We haven't talked about Miguel Nunez in a while. If they should put him in the third Ghostbusters movie.
I would allow it because it's better than the fucking cast list I
Larry's
saw
got
they're
this
trying.
look on his face like, who the fuck is Miguel Nunez?
I don't know who the fuck it is.
Joanna Man.
Nope. Oh,
Return of the Living Dead. He's the.
You ever seen Life with?
I'm just gonna Google it. I don't.
He's
I don't-
famous to us because he's in Return. He's our favorite character from Return of the Living. Unanimously, is that fair?
Yeah.
Every movie he's ever in has been turned to gold.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Except for Return of the Living. But wasn't there?
You guys
rumors
know
that
my love for Miguel Nunez.
the third Ghostbusters was gonna have like Seth Rogen and his gang. in it?
Yeah, like the
Oh,
original rumor for
man.
Ghostbusters 3. What? Oh, that.
Seth Rogen and
Yeah.
all that.
The original rumors for Ghostbusters 3 is that the guys were going to be in it, but there was going to be a new crew based around Oscar, which was the baby from part 2, was going to be grown up, and they're now the Ghostbusters.
Oh. But it
and
was
there was
Seth
a lot of
Rogen
rumors going around
too.
that Jonah Hill was now the grown-up version of Oscar, and it was going to be based around them. And
So it's gonna be like Jonah, not Jonah. Who's the guy that makes all those? Judd Apatow. So like a Judd Apatow film?
Kinda,
I honestly like.
but
I can see why like fans of the '80s would hate the shit out of that.
Yeah.
I think it would be good.
But I think it would.
Yeah.
Have been
I think it would be
fucking
great.
And then at
awesome.
one point, because Bill Murray didn't want to be in it, I read online that he was actually going to be a ghost in it. Like he died in the universe, and
Yeah.
like his
That
ghost was
was a
haunting.
solid idea.
And I'm like, fuck
Yeah.
yes. And now they're like, fuck all that. We're going to reboot it with an all-female cast, have nothing to do with the original one except for setting in the same universe. And we want Jennifer Lawrence and Melissa McCarthy.
I want actually.
I've seen her naked.
It's no.
I think
Melissa
everyone has-
McCarthy?
It's,
No.
this is one of those things that
I don't
like
know who that is or how old she is. So I'm just
treading
gonna say no.
political water. It's no
Yeah, you do.
no one's a stranger to mine and Larry's thoughts on it apparently through if you're friends with either one of us on Facebook. But I'd really like a feminist opinion on.
God.
You're,
I knew that was-
you're inviting trouble.
I
know.
am inviting trouble, but I really
We are
feel
fucked.
like Hollywood comic books.
You mean
Everything is
raped.
trying way too hard to just change everything to
Yeah.
like the main character's black or the main character's
Yeah.
a female or. I just not that I'm supposed to having
I'd
good
take her
strong
to church.
characters, but make new female characters. Make
Yeah.
new.
Stop
like,
rebooting the old ones.
I just don't.
You can't
see-
just chop the
do
dick
you-
off.
Because I'm offended because it's ruining characters I like. But are you offended because they're not giving you something new? That's my question.
Well, think about Bill Murray's character in Ghostbusters. He's a total pervert. You know what I mean? If you flip that around, it would just be a total prostitute. So if they rebooted it and wanted to stay true to the original character, it would have to be a complete whore to be that.
But that's the thing is,
character.
from what the things that I've read online about it, it's all been like, no, we're just it's set in New York, and there would be like, yeah, the Ghostbusters were a thing. Here's this though, that's gonna have no cameos. They're gonna put nothing back towards it past that, and it's gonna be like complete reboot of here's these girls.
It's gonna flop like fuck.
I don't see, and I'm not sexist at all. I'm not like fuck
I
it. We
am.
need them. I know you are, Larry.
Well, I mean, I see why they're doing it, but I think one of the things, another reason I wanted to ask an opinion like that is that movie. Like, it's probably not a stereo. Well, I guess it is a stereotype, but it's true. I'm willing to say that the majority of Ghostbusters fans are white men.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
So the fact that nobody knows who Winston Zeddemore is.
The-
Black guy, yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Hudson.
Jared, the black guy.
Ernie
Way to
Hudson.
turn this into a race thing.
Fuck. But I mean, like, I'm not sexist at all, but I'm just saying, like, when they're like, we don't want any cameo, like, I could get behind this movie if they're like, okay, so we're going to have Murray do a quick cameo somewhere, and Aykroyd's going to be in it for this. And even if they get Annie Potts back as the receptionist, Janine, and if they bring Rick Moranis back
yeah.
for a funny bit, I'm cool.
Is he still
What
alive?
about Ernie Hudson?
Ernie Hudson
just mentioned
Ernie
it.
Hudson should be in it. But, like, that's my thing. Is like if
He
we
should
have
die
these-
first.
That's right.
For the
If-
first
if
2
we have
years that I
these-
knew Jared, I thought he was Rick Moranis in hiding.
I
He
get that
really
a
is.
lot, and it's really fucking weird. I don't understand.
because he doesn't look like Rick Moranis at
I don't
all.
feel like I look like Rick Moranis at all.
Well,
It's fucking weird.
okay,
But
Rick.
I don't know. That's my beef with.
Look at me.
Jared, would you like a
I
chair?
don't,
Look at me, YouTube. It's the top of my hat.
I don't look like Rick Moranis.
But no, that's my beef with Ghostbusters 3 and why I really think that they're about to fuck something up really badly and ruin what has otherwise been
I will say-
a great
I don't think it'll ever
franchise.
get made.
A lot of times what happens with these, and this is, if you do some research on back to the sort of sci-fi, but Jason versus Freddy, that was a movie that they wrote the script for. Remember the end of
Jason Goes to Hell.
Jason Goes to Hell when the claw comes up and he grabs
that
the
was
mask.
actually Kane Hodder's hand, not
Yeah.
Robert Englund.
That was meant to be a playoff. They were working on a script for Jason versus Freddy then, and that movie came out. God knows.
Well,
how long
I
ago.
remember. I think it was the director that came out later on that said that the entire point that they were trying to do was they were going to film a scene where it ended in hell or something like that because it was all the Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah.
And it's Freddy and it's Jason for a minute. Like you just see the shadow silhouettes and then chains come out to pull him back and Pinhead comes up. And it was going to be this like big what the fuck moment with like Pinhead, Jason, Freddy.
I hate Pinhead. But from that spawned that they tried to write the movie Jason versus Freddy was written 100 times, had a million script rewrites. It went through a bunch of different
Have
studios.
you ever read any of those?
Yes, I have.
Have you read the
actually.
medieval one?
Yes.
Oh my fucking
I
god!
know. I got so hyped because all I thought about was like medieval Spawn, but
Yeah,
L-
and then there was
it's a
the
whole
one where
nother
there was
world.
the chase scene with the Mustang and the Camaro,
Yep.
and like Jason's like, I was like, what the fuck? Who
Yeah.
the fuck writes this shit?
But I was that happens to a lot of films like Ghostbusters. Think about how many scripts have been written for Ghostbusters 3. How many doctors have gone over it or script
Well,
doctors
no,
or whatever.
Dan
and
Aykroyd
then-
said he's written a draft. Ivan
Yeah.
Reitman said he's written a draft.
Yeah.
And the Ivan Reitman draft was the one where it was Oscar grown up with Bill Murray as a ghost.
But
and
see,
he even
that's-
admitted, and he's like, and it's like this is awesome. But now it's the news that have come out lately is that it's the studio itself is like, we want to go. We don't want to talk about the fucking men anymore. We have to go this way because we're going to build a new franchise off of this with
Yeah.
new actors.
And that's a lot of times what happens with these films is they get stuck in the bureaucracy of who's going to finally say, okay, go with this script, with this cast, and all of that. It's hard to get a movie like that up and running.
Kind of like how yesterday it came out that they were in the process of creating a new Alien movie with Sigourney Weaver again.
Oh, fucking Christ.
And then it was just like drop, and they released all the prototype images that they were
I saw
making,
that.
and it looks
Yeah.
fucking gorgeous.
Yeah. That pisses me off because Alien is one of those that it's not old enough to like reboots can't happen a year after the final movie happens. That just
Are you
pisses me
sure? Because I don't think Hollywood knows that yet.
off. They don't. But
I'm
it's
not
pissing
like
me
big
off.
into those movies because I've never really I've never really watched any of them all the
Yeah.
way through
Brad-
except Prometheus.
Mhm.
So I totally have no.
Brad
comprehension.
actually explained the whole Prometheus aliens thing to me very
was
well
that
one
a
day.
prequel?
Yeah, it was. Oh crap! What's his name?
Ridley Scott.
Yes, Ridley Scott. He had always wanted Prometheus to be its own film. Never meant to be a prequel. It was along the Alien timeline, but it was never meant to be
Tie into.
tie into Alien. The Alien
It
films.
just took place in the same.
It took
like,
place in the same universe. It was always meant to be its own, but everybody naturally wants to pair it with Alien because it's in that same universe,
Yeah.
and everybody hated it because it wasn't what they thought it was going to be.
Which is stupid because I would pay so much money to see some of these universes that they've created in these films make other films in those same universe along
and that's
the same
exactly
timeline.
that's exactly what Ridley Scott
And
did.
I wish they would do that more, but you're right, it gets lumped in with that,
And
which
then-
pisses me off because they go through all this work of like Alien where they've created this huge world where Alien has happened, and they have this whole universe that they could write all these different movies and films in, but the general public is like, oh, it's Alien.
Yeah.
Well, I remember when it was even first
ruined
announced,
it.
like Ridley Scott's making a new movie finally, and everybody's like, "Oh, I wonder what's going to be." They're like, "Outer space? Is it aliens?"
Yeah.
It's aliens.
It's-
And, like the name is Prometheus, so like Prometheus was formed. It's aliens. It has to do with aliens. Like from day one, I heard about that movie. It's like
Well,
alien,
he
aliens,
did
aliens.
put like one of the same creatures in it, right?
At the very end, there's a xenomorph.
Facehugger.
Well, at the very end, you see like a xenomorph, but it was never supposed to be tie-in. It was never supposed to be a prequel to
Well,
Alien.
it's not really
The
tied
way-
into the rest of the story.
The
is
way
it?
I
No, not at all.
understood is that it was a story happening while Alien is happening somewhere else, but in the same place. But
but completely different worlds.
yeah,
And that's why I really enjoyed Prometheus. I really thought it was a solid film, but everybody hated it.
I felt like it was really convoluted. I had a hard
Yeah.
time following it.
my thought is that if you were a real
Maybe
Alien
it's because
fan,
I've never watched Alien.
But see, going back
Yeah.
to
I
last
don't
week real
remember
quick.
enough
Going back to last week real quick, and then we'll take a break after this. But I think the beginning of Prometheus really got me because it's exactly what I like. It's all these ancient cultures are drawing cave paintings or rock carvings that show the exact same star formation. So what is the star formation? Why is that star formation significant? That's the kind of stuff I like. You know, I watch those ancient alien series and stuff like that, and I see, you know, almost identical paintings from different sides of the world when they weren't supposed to be communicating back and forth. So what are they seeing back then?
yeah, and there was no way they could have communicated.
Exactly, and
Because
that's
travel
why
hadn't evolved.
and maybe I should have explained it better in the last episode, but that's movies that delve into that kind of stuff are the ones that I really like about science fiction. But anyway,
So you have to love Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
I did not
no,
like it.
no, I did not.
Everybody hates
did
that
not
fucking
like that
movie.
one at all. But anyway,
They were huge blockbusters.
let's go ahead and we'll take a break and we'll come back and we'll talk more racist debates. Don't go anywhere.
And welcome back, everyone.
you still-
Because I forgot what we were
We've
doing.
done like fucking 3 hours worth of recording, and now you steal it.
You don't need to talk.
That'll be enough out of you.
Piece of shit, fucking hobbit, Rick Moranis looking motherfucker.
Well, welcome back to the show.
Been a long night.
Yeah, it's been a long night, a really long night. But anybody have any closing thoughts on Ghostbusters before we officially move on?
Don't do it. Just let it be. Let us have our 2 films
Yeah.
of gloriousness.
I think it's that's one that I do believe they should.
Or
Probably
give us our
let be.
standalone Stay Puffed or Slimer movie.
Is there,
Telltale
is
should
there a
just make
reason
a
your Big
game.
Red's upside
Telltale
down?
should make a game.
What's up?
Is there a reason your Big Red's upside down?
Well, it's not open yet.
Okay.
That would be a good thing.
I'm just
yes.
making sure. Okay.
I think that's the official thought. Telltale should just make a game.
Telltale, we need to get a hold of you, become our sponsor, and then we can consult on the Ghostbusters
They
game.
did a 4th edition to Back to the Future pretty well.
The Back to the Future Telltale games are fucking fantastic. Wake up, Larry.
I'm awake.
He's
You
just
lost
dreading.
me.
He's dreading his 2-hour drive back home.
Yeah, I just realized that.
Just call a phone sex line. They'll keep you company.
Those are expensive.
1-800 Sexy Toes.
Sexy toes.
It's a real thing.
Oh shit! Did
I don't know.
Did they sponsor us?
I'll never remember it when I was forget it.
Can I please call it and play it on the show? Just the intro for it.
I don't know if I wonder if it's still the same after all these years. When I was like 9 or 10, I hung out with like some older kids in my neighborhood, and they were joking around, and they called it one day and put it on speakerphone, and it was just like, yeah, between my toes, like weird, like
Oh,
sexy feet talk.
I miss those late night infomercials for the phone sex hotlines.
Yeah.
When I was a kid,
they still have them.
they do.
Yeah. I fall asleep with the TV on every now and again, and I'll wake up and I'm like, huh.
I was looking
The
at
USA Network were like, they'd show 5 every commercial break. It'd be like phone sex, Taco Bell, phone sex, McDonald's, phone sex,
I know-
a commercial for La Femme Nikita, phone sex.
Mine was the.
.com.
I'm tired. The singles. Chat with local singles in your area.
My favorite one I've seen that I've lately is like farmerslife.com.
Oh yes.
Oh my
Yeah.
fucking god.
What?
Yeah, it's like,
So
it's a
only
real
for, it's,
thing.
it's only for farmers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like it shows it. And it's just like,
it's real.
I
It's a
like
real thing.
farming. I do too. And we met on FarmersLife.com. FarmersLife.com. When you need that farm hand in your life.
Yeah.
Is it for gay men?
No, it's
it's-
for couples. Like it's like
Christian Mingle.
I think the funniest part. Again, not right. We're like bring up the race. Why not? Fuck it. There's literally the one of them that I saw was a black guy and a white woman for FarmLife.com. I'm not saying that like black people can't be farmers, but
How
she
are we?
used
This
the
episode
she used the term "I love his help around the farm," and I'm just like,
Can you say that? That's
Did
funny.
anybody remember the Enzyte commercials with the?
I'm a sheep and I live on a farm. I'm a farmer.
Yeah. I figured that was going to go one of two ways. It was either the farmer fucking the animals or the black guy was actually a cotton farmer.
Does
let's be
anybody,
happy. It's bestiality.
Yeah, but bestiality is the safer of the two,
does
unfortunately.
anybody ever remember those Enzyte commercials with the creepy smile?
Bob.
Yes.
Meet
Yeah.
Bob.
How badly do you want insight at that point?
Not that much.
I love that his wife is carrying the tray with the drinks on it, and their like glasses are like this long. They're those tall, skinny glasses, and she's like, like showing him.
Larry would take them all and just shoot each one of them back.
Yeah,
I
give me those Bahama
Take
Mamas.
some
Jared-
one day?
no.
Oh, damn.
We need
Jared
to do
Jared
a
likes
show
to make
where we
fun
all
of me.
take insight at the beginning of the show.
Jared, have you ever taken Viagra?
No.
Larry?
No, it scares me. It's bad enough as it is. I basically walk hump everywhere I go. So if I took Viagra, like there'd be holes in some brick walls.
While we're on random sex crap from the 90s, Jared likes to make fun of me for finding websites and stuff.
Where's this going?
Jared likes to make fun of me for
Red
finding
likely.
websites that nobody uses anymore, like E-Bombs World.
Oh God,
And
Newgrounds,
yeah, and
I still play with
stupidvideos.com.
Newgrounds.
and
Newgrounds, God.
they had something that was like a gallery of
You're the
like,
man now dog.com.
things that 90s kids remember.
Yeah.
And one of them was the scrambled Spice Channel not having cable thing. It was like boob ? Written on it.
Yeah.
It's a true story.
I almost brought that up a few moments ago.
I'm only going to use them by name. Or I'll use them by
It was
our
like
name.
10 o'clock, the box would turn into
Yeah.
the Playboy channel
Yeah.
and it'd be all
A,
static.
a friend of ours whom, when we grew up with, we just named him Squirrel for various reasons. Stayed the night at my house once. He was
This
downstairs.
is the best episode ever.
He was downstairs. And he comes upstairs. He goes, okay. I said, what? He goes, I was watching the Spice Channel and masturbated. What?
That kid had no shame.
He really didn't.
No shame.
And he was like 12.
I think we were like 13 or 14 at the time.
Really weird. He used to. He smuggled. His dad would throw Playboys away. His dad had a Playboy subscription. He would grab them out of the trash, and he sold Playboys out of his locker
That's
in
awesome.
middle school.
Very true.
That's awesome.
Like, and people would come up to him and be like, hey, do you have like this issue or that issue? And he'd be like, give me a week.
So this is fun. I've totally forgotten about this until now. It's a part of my childhood that's blacked itself out. But
Yes, repressed memories.
when I was a kid, you guys all remember Pogs. Well,
Yeah.
Speaking
I
of Pogs, earlier when we were talking about Apollo 13, instantly I was like, I had
The
an
rocket
Apollo
ship from
13 with the
Hardee's.
Pogs.
mine was like this long.
Because you kept, every time you got a
Yep.
Happy Meal, you got another piece, and you could
Yep,
just,
you
and you had
just-
to fill up the Pogs.
Yep. That's so random. But
You had
anyhow,
a Pog maker?
Those were the
Yes.
shit. I had one too.
that's where I was going
I-
to go.
How old are you?
20, well, hang on.
Uh-oh.
Let me check. It's 12:23. I am 30, sir.
Happy
birthday!
Thank you.
Okay, well, I was going that defeats my theory. I was going to say I must be at the weird age where I'm a little too like that must have happened right between our generations.
Yeah.
'Cause I have no idea what you're talking about.
You know what
Really?
a fucking Pog is?
You never had a
It's a
Pog?
little piece of cardboard that had like pictures on it, and you have
And you
the
threw quarters
slammers.
at it.
No, it was the
You had a
slammers.
slammer, yeah,
They were like
right.
a big
You had a
thick
heavy
piece of like
version.
aluminum, yeah. And like
you'd slam
you
it.
have those kids that would like get the ones that are like this fucking thick and they like just drop them.
Yeah.
And the entire point
It
was to
was-
flip them over.
Whichever ones you flipped, you got to keep.
Yeah.
It was like trading cards, but they were Pogs.
Yeah.
Like marbles, maybe? Like shooting marbles?
Sort of like that.
But yeah,
No
I
clue.
had the Pog maker too, and the first thing my mom did was deface a US dollar by making me a dollar
Yeah.
Pog.
So back to this. I got a Pog maker for Christmas. I got this huge, big crate of Pog
Did
stuff
you make porn Pogs?
from Sam's. And
We should do that now.
I know. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. So it was basically like a blank pog that was sticky, and
Damn
you
a
would
boner
put a paper or picture over it, stamp it down, and twist it, and it would push it onto it, and you'd make a pog. So I took it to school. I was the pog king. I had so much pog shit all the time. I always had that rocket ship. I had a travel size. It was just one link long that went to school with me. So with my slammers on the top, so we could play at school. And I had a rolled up pog mat in my locker. And
there were mats for that.
Yeah,
remember the
there was-
mats?
I play
Yeah.
I play trading card games, so I'm very accustomed to play mats. I just
Yes,
didn't know
There-
they
it's
had
around
them for
one,
Yeah.
and there
pogs.
was a pog.
It was so it wouldn't destroy your bottom pog, so you
Yeah.
could put them on rough
You wouldn't
material.
break them. But there was a official Pog League, and there was an official Pog League mat that I had, and it was I found one of my magazines actually that there was a Pog collecting magazine that talked about the leagues
You were
and how
ass
you
deep
could
in some
compete.
pogs.
Yes.
I remember spending $10 at Pizza Hut because they had a set of the mask pogs
Yep.
in the crane machine. I was like, must get.
Must have. But so I brought my Pog maker to school, and I was the coolest fucking kid in the world. We ripped out because we always had the magazines in the classrooms for when we had to do those fucking projects of like collages and shit and ransom letters and whatnot. But we were making them out of that, and it was really cool. Well, then one day I come to school and I got my Pog maker in my backpack, and my buddy sits down beside me on the bus, and he's got this big fat fucking envelope, and this was 4th grade. Opens it up, all porn. All of it, just all porn. And he was like, let's make some pogs. So the whole bus ride to school, we made naked pogs, more or less, just porn pogs. And that was like the hit of the school. Well, so we all had them. Somebody got caught with them because we were playing when we shouldn't be. They got busted. They found their porn pogs, and it was this whole investigation of where they came from, and nobody knew it was me. Nobody ever figured it out. I got away scot-free, and it's years later. You can't do shit about it now. Fuck you. It's like way past the statute of limitations. And I was the one that made them all. It was me and my buddy on the bus on the way to school. With my
However,
Pog
we would
maker.
like to say that we are looking into possible porn pogs coming back, so nobody else fucking do it.
Yeah, nobody. Trademarked?
We should.
Can we make
please-
our own?
I'm gonna say, can we
Yes.
please get a fucking find a pog maker and have one of our Patreon things be Return of the Living Podcast Pogs?
Yes.
Return of the Living Podcast.
Oh, God.
Reaching.
A little bit. A little bit.
We're bringing it back.
Fuck you, I'm sober.
Pogs. That's where we've made it to Pogs.
I work at Goodwill now, and I'm constantly like finding things from my childhood. I can honestly say I have not found a single fucking pog. It's very disappointing.
You know-
I have no clue what they are. I'm curious.
There's
There's
a
just
new game that-
literally little square or little circular pieces of cardboard. That's
To
it.
give you the history of it, it's called the Milk Cap game, and way back in the day, the little the little paper insert of the lid was the milk cap, and they would take those out and they would use them as pogs. That's where the game originated from. It was because it was called milk caps back in the day, and that's where it actually came from. So it really is way before our time.
They just printed stuff on it and made them collectible.
Oh, I
Yeah.
remember those things.
See,
Okay,
There's
never.
a new game out that seems just as dumb to me. As
I guess I
Pogs
didn't
called
really know
Dice
they were-
Masters.
Oh God,
Weird. as
I
shit.
guess I didn't really know it was a game. I thought they were just collectibles.
they were
'Cause I'm-
collectible,
'cause I
but
am
not
old.
really. Yeah. I don't know. I was really into it, but looking back, it was dumb. But we all did dumb shit. when
see,
we were
I
kids.
played street pogs like on the way to the bus. Like we wait for the
Yeah.
bus to come up, and we'd have
Yeah.
the pogs
Fucking,
out.
like some kid with like Tupac and a beatbox.
But we would literally like we'd all take
Like
our
you're
lunch
throwing
money
dice.
and we'd throw our lunch money in, and whoever got the most pogs would get all the pogs plus all the fucking lunch money.
That's funny shit. It was a deadly game.
Anyone ever get shanked?
No,
No, but somebody did get knocked the fuck out right before the bus got there.
that happens. Did he lose all his pogs?
No, he was like, "Fuck you, I'm taking my money back." And this kid that grew up in my neighborhood by the name of Trey was just like, "The fuck you is," and just fucking co-cocked him. He got knocked out. Fucking bus driver left him there. Like we all got on
awesome.
the bus, and the bus driver's just like, "Meh."
Bye bye.
Awesome.
Grew up in the hood, G.
No, he didn't. You grew up in a fake hood.
That's true.
Well, apparently that's the end of the show.
Do you ever have cornrows?
No. No. I did like braid my hair once, like in all like the little braids, and that was stupid.
Please tell me it was the Coolio style where they were just all over the place.
It's just
I mean,
random.
yeah, but I didn't have them like wire hangers, so they were like
What's wrong with you?
everything. Everybody's like, so like I did it one day, and they're like, oh, you like ICP? Out.
We were promoting.
Coming from the guy who says we should definitely do a show from the Gathering of the Juggalos.
I really think we should do a show from the Gathering of the. I think there are people. I really do. like we're so fucking off
They're
the
not
wall.
people.
The problem is that now we have Larry too. So between Larry and Jared, we'd fucking get killed.
Not necessarily. I actually went to the gathering dressed as Space Ghost, and I'm not kidding. I dressed up
No
Full-
pics, no proof.
full. I have pics. Full Space Ghost. I had the cape, the mask, the suit, tights, everything. And I went to the Halloween show up in India at Verizon, which was huge. And I had a fucking blast. It was probably the most fun I've ever had in one night.
only because Juggalo girls are easy.
That is also very true, but I had a blast.
How many times did you get your dick sucked that night?
Would Space Ghost like a blowjob from a girl in clown makeup?
How much makeup did you wipe off your balls at the
Did
end
That's
of
you
the
an
night?
just
easier
have two
question to
constant
answer.
Black eyeball stains like on your pelvic region. Is that what? Did that happen?
You hurt Larry.
Yes.
You hurt him.
There were the lines on the eyes too and the dots. It was weird. My face looked like my camera just shut off.
Oh.
Ruined it. It's
Fuck Juggalos.
my face looked or my dick looked like Shaggy Two Dope's face with the braids.
I do. I just like the Gathering Juggalos. I feel like if we did like a live broadcast from there, I think they'd fucking love it.
Just
I really
when
do.
I finally let it go after all these years, we were at a bar once and Corey was wearing an ICP shirt. And this guy came in and was like, "What's up, Juggalo?" And I did not let Corey
Yeah,
live that
he really
down
hasn't.
for like years. I was just like,
But guess what happened as soon as I went home? That shirt just went in a closet. Like I thought it was a cool design. Like it wasn't like one of the normal things. It's just like it says ICP or something like that. It was a really cool design of a shirt that we had at the store I worked at the time. So I got it for like $8 anyway. I was like, I'll fucking buy it. Why the fuck not?
There's one out right now that. Do you remember the Porky the Pig? That's all, folks. Whatever that was, where he
Yeah.
pops out through the rings. There's one of that now with one of the Juggalo guys popping through, and he's got a hatchet, and it says "Who's going chicken hunting?" And I kind of want it.
See,
Minus, I hate ICP. Don't get me wrong.
but every once in a while, the
they're
merchandise
terrible.
you're just
But
like,
the merchandise
I
is
kinda want
pretty
that.
funny. But they do have some really bad merchandise as well. You know the big 8, 16, 32-bit craze that's going on? They take everything normal and then make it 16-bit or whatever to look like the old school video games. They have the Juggalo, the Hatchet Man or whatever, in, I guess it'd be 16-bit. So he looks like he's in a,
Can
not
someone
an Atari,
explain
but
to me
like
the
regular
Hatchet
Nintendo.
Man?
regular Nintendo was 8-bit, Super Nintendo was 16.
Yeah.
No,
No,
like,
Super Nintendo was 32.
Super Nintendo was 16.
Someone explain to me the Hatchet Man or the Cleaver Man if we want to be.
It's just
Specific.
running with a
16.
hatchet. It's 32.
I don't.
I really don't even remember.
Their fans are so dumb.
It's on my arm.
They're so stupid. So fucking dumb. Have you ever watched American Juggalo?
What are you gonna do? Look it up
Yes.
now?
No, I honestly don't remember. What was 32? Was it the Dreamcast? Or not the Dreamcast. The Game Gear
32.
was 32?
No, 32 was Sega Genesis. They had the 32X.
32-bit?
Yeah. And then technically the Atari Jaguar was also 32 bits.
Yeah, but I guess it wouldn't be 16-bit then because Super Nintendo...
I can't
Regular
believe we're
Nintendo.
all friends. You guys have.
No, I mean...
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. See?
oh, you broke
Nice things, Brad. Why we can't have them.
I don't like Juggalos.
I don't either.
I feel like people are so pussy and progressive nowadays that I'm gonna like. Eventually, that's gonna be like a hate crime.
well, now
like,
here's
I'm
the
gonna be-
problem,
How
though.
can you
To be
not
fair,
like Juggalos?
to be fair, it can't be a hate crime because they're technically a gang by FBI standards. So you're just saying you
True.
don't like a gang member.
Well, look
Oh,
at
sweet.
the way we've always
I just
looked
don't
at
want
it,
to ever be
like...
some form of racism.
no,
Grant-
you're just gonna be killed.
You know Gran Torino, and he's like such a hard ass, and he calls everybody gooks all the time, and like all these racial slurs, and we
Yeah.
think he's such
Jared
a hard
loves
ass.
that fucking movie.
Think about when we get older and we call people names based on what music they listened to when they were kids. Like we're gonna be the same way. We're gonna be old crotchety men. Like, oh, you're a juggalo, douchebag.
You fucking hipster.
Yeah, like
Have you guys
that's the
seen
same way we're gonna
Idiocracy?
be. Yes.
And thanks for listening to. That's how I feel like.
What's our time, Bradley?
Oh, we can go 8 more minutes.
Good.
So what's your favorite ICP song? Actually, I have something better.
I hope the camera caught that.
Brad,
Look.
tell us about Prodigy.
Prodigy's awesome.
Fuck you. I love Prodigy.
They are amazing.
You
The end.
fucking used to make fun of him for listening to Prodigy.
Dude, I have like 3 Prodigy
Yeah, I
shirts.
just make fun of like
Going to Trans World and
it just didn't. I like
Fat of the
pictured, like-
Land.
okay, so
Invaders Must Die.
We've got Brad
it's a
here.
great
Brad,
album.
look at the camera. We don't use the camera enough. We can use the camera.
Yeah.
We have Brad here in his Louisville Cardinal hat, sports ball fan,
Sports ball.
family man, old man, likes bad science fiction movies, probably listens to country music. No, he listens to Tool and Prodigy. So that's why I was surprised.
To be fair, we started a new tradition this past year when we went to Transworld of as we hit the bridge crossing over the river, we have to blast the darkness. Get your hands off my woman, motherfucker.
no, it was I believe in a thing called love. That was the one we were.
Yeah.
That's the one we were listening to when we rolled into St. Louis.
That was one because we listened to Get Your Hands Off My or Keep Your Hands Off or whatever the fuck it's
I thought
called.
they only made one song.
And that was over the bridge, and then as soon as we hit downtown St. Louis is when
They should have stopped
I believe
at
in Thing
one.
Called Love.
The first Darkness album was fantastic all the way through.
It really was.
I will say the first episode that I was on with
If
you
you
guys.
find it at a half price books, buy it because Larry hates half price books.
I don't hate Half Price Books. I hate its fucking patrons. That's my issue. I don't hate a band. I hate the fucking people that like it. I don't hate Doctor Who. I hate the people that like Doctor Who.
You just said that you hated My Little Pony.
I don't have any feelings either way about My Little Pony. It's
Can you imagine if there
it's
were
the fans of it.
Juggalo My Little Ponies?
There are.
Waffle.
I'm sure there are. But
Waffle.
either
Not
way,
people, like it was in the show.
Oh, they make it. Just look it up on the Googles. It's
anywho,
there.
the first episode that I was on, I did a call in, I think, or maybe I was here. It was one with Brett where we did the Fear Fair. That episode, I was wearing my Prodigy shirt of Invaders Must Die,
And I put
and you put it as the like outro or the break or something like that, and I was so hype about it. I was like, somebody else knows who the
I
Prodigy
always
is.
get like nostalgia because of the Smack My Bitch Up video.
Yeah.
Where it was just like, it was a girl. Like,
I like that
was
one.
a thing once.
I liked Firestarter was a cool video. They were all weird.
I remember I think I tried to talk about this before, and I don't know if anybody knew what I was talking about, but you posted a video of it a while back, I'm pretty sure. And you're like maybe the only other person I know that knows about Aphex Twin.
Oh my god, yeah.
His videos
I remember
are
them.
so fucking weird.
I used
There
to have
was-
a profile picture
Yeah.
still from video.
You did too, yeah. His face on the chick, right? Is that what you?
I can't
Was it
remember.
the old lady or the scream?
I think it was the scream.
The screamer?
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
It's very awkward when like you all
Eat
figure
your-
out that we all like the
steal your
same
soul or
random
whatever.
fucking music, but at the
Yeah.
same time we have our own musical tastes.
Well, there's
Like-
see what happened was when I was a kid, my first tape was Old Dirty Bastard. That was my first record of any sort.
course
was Old
it
Dirty
was.
Bastard.
I would like to show another BuzzFeed article said that his album turned was it 15? No, 25 this year.
Everything
20,
that
yeah,
about
bitch.
your life explains how
Yeah.
you are, why you are,
Yeah.
the way you are. Porn pogs, ODB.
my first cassette tape ever was Usher's My Way.
Oh my god. Well, anyhow, so I had that, and that's what I started on. And I had a Walkman, and I listened to that on repeat for just forever. The next album I got after that, a friend of mine named CD, went to high school with, gave me
Like
ironically.
SEEDY.
No, it was like I think his name's Chuck something.
He was a
Charles or
heroin
something.
dealer?
Everyone called him CD. I think it's Charles. But he gave me No Effects, So Long and Thanks for the Shoes, and then introduced me to AFI and Misfits immediately after. So that's when I like really got into them. And I was super young at that point. And then
Hate Fat Mike.
past then, yes, he's yes. Anyhow, and then after that, I started working when I was like 14. Yeah, I was 14. I was super young. And the guy that I worked with, who was also named Larry, gave me Daft Punk, all the Daft Punk albums that are out, like Discovery and Homework and whatever their last one was before that. And then Aphex Twin. He gave me all the Aphex Twin that was out at the time. And that's like what I started on. So I know all of those songs word for word or beat for beat, whatever. If it's like Aphex Twin or
Daft
Daft
Punk's
Punk.
been around for a long time.
Yes, they have. They already
Ridiculously
had
long
like
time.
4
think-
full-length albums and like
haven't-
2 EPs or something at that time, and I was
Haven't they
14.
only really had like just 2 major singles though.
No, they've
feel
actually
like
had tons.
The only
In,
times I
in
remember them
Europe,
showing
they're
up-
fucking ridiculous.
when I watched,
huge.
if you watched MTV from like 2000 to 2000 and even
I
10.
remember they had that single around that time that Blue Band was popular. It was like
Oh, yeah.
their video was like a cartoon music video,
yeah.
and then that was the last thing I heard of them before this.
If you watched
like, Get Lucky
MTV,
song or whatever.
they sample Daft Punk constantly. I could watch, an hour of MTV, and they would play 3 different Daft Punk songs for intros and outros and stuff like that they use as their music. Daft Punk is huge. You just don't realize that you're hearing Daft Punk. That's what I've always felt about them, is that they're really everywhere. You just don't realize it. But they're huge. I mean, they had the single with Kanye West, which was kind of a remake of theirs as well, that they've harder, better, faster, stronger, that Kanye did. But then like the Grammys, they played on the Grammys, and they're huge. Like in Europe, like you were talking about, they're huge, and they are still huge. That Tron, the whole soundtrack is theirs. They made every note for Tron. You know what I mean? And that movie was huge. So the latest one, the Disney one, obviously. But
Both of them were Disney.
oh, they are. You're right. That is true. I forgot about that. But yeah, they're huge. Just people just don't realize it. But those are probably my top bands.
See, hearing your life story reminds me a lot of mine, except it was a lot more fucked up. And like, I grew up listening to like country music and like old R&B.
He was the kid that got caught with porn
Yeah.
pogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were the one that got fucking busted.
And then like I got like really into rap music. All right, Jared.
Yes, good.
My favorite thing about Jared is he breaks down
I
his
make
own
myself
jokes.
laugh.
Well, I did grow up on country music. My mom was really into country music, but the first music that I owned and had control over, that's where I
I
started.
remember many years Jared's like listening to AC/DC like growing up because his dad's a biker and like he listened to like classic rock. I'm like, I don't want to. I like Master P and Mystical.
My dad got me into the best music when I was.
And then like I'll never forget, it was 8th grade. I was in school band and I played a trombone.
I bet you did.
We went to St. Louis for a competition. I was going out of town, and Jared just slipped me 2 CDs. He goes, "Here's Slipknot's first CD, and here's Disturbed's Down with the Sickness."
Damn it. You had me, and then you lost me.
And he was just like, "Listen to this." Like I'm listening to like Nelly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a
You were
dick.
all about that Disturbed when it first came out.
That was after.
No,
That was before Disturbed was a thing.
no, that was that year.
Was it?
Yeah,
That sucks.
we
man.
were. That was the
You
beginning
can't
of
make fun of me
2001.
for going to CICP ever again.
The beginning of the beginning of 2001, sir, was when we were in 8th
You
grade.
intentionally listened to David Draymond.
But he like let me listen to it, and like I did like
Believe was a good album.
And I did like Disturbed, but still to this day, like I always like my favorite band. I've seen them live a bunch, and they're fucking. I love Slipknot, I really do. And like I would not be in or even know half the fucking people. My life would be completely different had it not be for him showing me metal music.
Yeah. Slipknot was the next band I got after Daft Punk. It was the one he gave me, was the first Slipknot
But
album.
I remember like listening to it, and like the first time I listened to it, I was like, this fucking music is. I can't understand it, and this and that. And then I went to bed that night, and I just remember like playing. Servicing in my head over and over, like, and then I was
Mine
like,
was,
it was like, yeah.
Wait
Random
and
question.
Bleed
I know Brad's
was the
like
one that
really
caught me off
bored,
that.
but I feel like I don't know. I was intrigued with Slipknot when I was
Mm-hmm.
younger because I saw him like late night on MTV, and I was intrigued because I didn't understand the music, and I don't think my brain could comprehend the melodies until I was much older.
Yeah.
I don't. Is that like a thing?
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like because it just sounded like noise until I got a little bit older.
And I think as like when you listen to metal, that's the
I
one
saw
thing
it
too.
and I was
is-
intrigued by it. I was like, why do people like this? And I got my dad to get me the album from Kmart. Fuck. But
I bought
and I
Coolio
just
from
listened to
Kmart.
it because I was just intrigued by like why do people like this?
Yeah.
I remember
And
I
I
went.
couldn't understand the melodies until I got a little.
I remember because I came home and I had my mom buy me a Slipknot CD, and then I had my my grandpa's second wife go up to Meyer and buy me the Mudvayne CD,
yeah.
their first CD, fucking MD50, and I was
Yep.
like,
Bought that
because
like a
like she looked at the
month
front
ago.
cover because it had that weird baby thing on it. She goes, "What is that?" And I was like,
Oh, yeah.
"I don't know." She's like, "It's got a parental advisory on it. Don't care. Buy it."
I remember when I first figured out that LD50 was lethal dose 50. It's the amount that you can give a test group before 50% of them die, and I was like, that's so fucking metal.
I just remember like I was in school and I had like a Mudvayne shirt, and my Spanish teacher was like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Mudvayne." He's like, "Well, who's in it?" I was like, "Well, the lead singer's name is Chud or something like." Is that what he used? And she was like, "That's disgusting."
Oh my god.
And I was like,
That was like when we intentionally did shit to like get a rise out of people.
I don't know.
And be
Like
a
I was
rebel.
just like I was like in 7th grade, and I used to wear my Slipknot T-shirt all the time,
Mhm.
and like I just didn't care. I was just a huge Slipknot fan.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Why do you wear that?" I wasn't screaming for attention. I was just like, "I like it."
Yeah.
same
I'm a
thing
fan.
with his dope shirt.
Dope.
I was a big Dope fan.
Oh my god, the very first song he ever learned was Dope's version of "Spin Me Right Round" at rock school.
Well, technically, I guess that was Dead or Alive.
Was Jack Black your teacher?
No, he
No.
wasn't.
But it was funny because they did their show, and they're like halfway through this rock school, something happened with the fire alarm, so they had to redo the show like 2 nights later, and like he hated it.
It was so bad. Funny story to end the show on. So I did this thing, obviously called Rock School, where you teach. I started as a young kid, and they teach you how to play. They put you with kids that like similar music, and teach you how to play songs. And then you have a show for like your parents and friends at the end of the like classes. It's like a 6-week thing or whatever.
Penguins of Death.
But there was this band called Penguins of Destruction.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
And they would play like they were all like they're probably like older kids than me, but they were like prodigies, and they would play like Pantera and like Cradle of Filth and like all this weird shit. And I just remember I can't remember what song they were playing, but in the middle of it, their singer bends down because we couldn't see like where their feet were because it was like a raised stage.
Yeah.
Picks up a fucking gong, and he's just like like headbanging
Oh
and
my
hitting
God.
this gong. And we fucking lost it.
Now,
That's legit.
now, imagine, because you've got like him that plays something random like Dope, but it's like every other band is Smells Like Teen Spirit, or they Sweet Home Alabama,
Damn It by Blink-182.
Damn It by Blink-182, and at this time Chop Suey
Yes.
by System, and then Penguins would come out and he'd just be like,
Chop Suey was my favorite to teach kids
Yeah.
because it would always be like the shyest kid would have to sing, and he'd be like, "Wake up, grab a bush pillow, make up, keys on the table." Yeah, like so bad. Oh, those kids.
He used to come into school and tell us horror stories of these kids he were teaching.
So it wasn't like School of Rock at all.
No.
They sucked.
If I had like, I taught so many kids how to play "Smells Like Teen Spirit."
And they could never get it right.
I do pride of mine,
Such an
pride
easy
in my
one.
hipster life. We were the first young kid band to play Weezer.
Oh my God.
Yeah, true story.
It's a weird source of
But,
pride.
there was this kid these group of like younger kids that parents listen to classic rock. They played Crazy Train, and the little guy couldn't play the solo. So one of the rock school coaches hid behind the amp with another guitar,
He faked
and this kid fucking milked it. Like he had his foot
Oh
up
my
on the
God.
amp.
Oh.
Best shit ever. Thanks for listening to Return of the Living Podcast. We have talked your ear off for
Yeah.
over an hour now, probably.
We remember we were talking about that sweet spot of length of shows, and then
We
we
just fucking jump
then
over.
we
it
just-
all.
We're really
Fucking
not that far away. If we
dropped in dry.
All right.
We have nostalgia. We talk about our childhoods.
Check us
we
out.
Suck.
We'll have a more structured show next episode.
No, we
No,
won't.
we won't.
No, we won't. Check us out at returnofthelivingpodcast.com.
Check out our Patreon.
We all three have ginger beards.
Yeah.
Just want to make light of
So
that.
by the way, is mine better now that I'm growing it back out the right way?
Yeah, you look so fucking weird. We're going to post a picture on the Facebook later from
The
wrestling,
Facebook.
but Corey shaved just this part of his chin.
Yeah.
So it was like a wraparound. Like his naked little chin was poking out of his beard.
It was complete
So
another
fucking
accident.
weird. You just kept it.
Yeah.
Moments in my life, I would have shaved my beard.
No.
Fucking thanks for
I've-
listening to
no.
Return of the Living Podcast. I'm determined to end the show. Look out for Corey's chin on Twitter. Have a good night.